What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the Opinionated Hippie, and this is part 55 of my reviewing and ranking Frank Zappa's guitar solos within the context of an album. And this is Hot Rats. I actually thought I had done Hot Rats already, and I was going through the list, and I was like, oh, I didn't do Hot Rats. So now I'm doing Hot Rats. I'm just going to rank the guitar solos in just from this album, and then compare this album with other albums based on guitar solos only. And I'm counting 4 guitar solos, because there is a song that has a guitar part. It's not technically a solo. It's played the same on every tour, not always by Frank, but I don't care. This is my video. This is my list. And I love this song and I love that part so much that I'm putting it on the list. It's not number 1. I'm not crazy here, but it's on the list. So 4 guitar solos. That's it. I'm just going to talk about each one. Then but that's it. I'll put the list on the screen for you visual learners, and then I'll show you where it ranks among the other 54. Number 4, the gumbo variations. The big problem with this solo is it's still 69 Frank. And there are 2 solos that precede Frank solos that blow Frank out of the water. Just 2 of the best solos committed to Frank tape occur before Frank solos. And when Frank solos, he's still got that kind of 69. It's one of his thinner guitar sounds on this album. I think it's definitely not as aggressive as the top 2 on this list. And it really, like, it's almost like Frank should have gone first. Like, you should have gone first, Frank, and set up the following 2 instead of going last, because it's almost like he takes much less time, this final version of this, much less time than the other 2 soloists. We go into like a little drum break, and then everybody kind of comes in for a little bit. And it's almost like he knew it. He recognized it. Good on him. But yeah, I think it's Frank's least interesting solo on here. Number 4, the gumbo variations. Number 3 is the one that isn't really a solo. It's a written part. It just happens to be played by Frank's guitar, usually played by a guitar player, though I think there are tours when it's not played by a guitar player. But it's that little 29-second guitar part from 1:05, right before it turns 1:06, in Peaches and Regalia, for like the next 29 seconds. Just that little awesome little melodic guitar part. I think it's doubled by Ian on something, or it's doubled by somebody. It's just such pure, it's like 30 seconds of the best music I think Frank has committed to tape. It gets me every time. Peaches and Regalia, there's a video on here, my top 10 favorite Frank songs. That's in the top 10. It's in the top 5. It might be really high in the top 5. Peaches and Regalia is just an absolute perfect song. And that 29 seconds of it's played the same live all the time, but it makes me so incredibly happy that I had to put it on this list just to talk about it one more time. Peaches and Regalia. That short little 29 seconds, that's my number 3. Number 2 is Willie the Pimp. Willie the Pimp, it's a marathon. It's an endurance contest. It is that mole game, at like Chuck E. Cheese, where you have to hit the head of the moles if they pop out. There's only one mole, and it's you, and every time you come up, he just whacks you on the head, whacks you on the head, whacks you on the head. And as would probably happen if you got whacked on the head for the course of like 6 minutes straight, 7 minutes straight, eventually you start to get delirious, and then you start to really enjoy it, and then you're like, oh no, the longer this gets, the better it gets, and is this really still going on? And I thought it should have finished, but no, there's 4 minutes left in this song, and then it just goes and goes and goes and goes, and it's the sheer audacity of the solo, the attack, the length, fact that it's 1969, the fact that it's just like him jamming and not really caring about anything else. The band, of course, sounds great, but this is like, it's not, I would say, if you look at it compositionally, it's not one of Frank's most impressive solos. You take like an 8-minute, like Occam's Razor, just the composition within that, the ideas within ideas, the overall thematic thing of that, all the Inca Road solos from 79, just those compositionally, I think, make this look just like a kind of a really energetic, aggressive youngster just playing guitar for a long period of time, but it's still impressive. The rhythm section is fantastic. The energy is fantastic. The song itself, Willie the Pimp with Captain Beefheart, all of that sets up this really ridiculously long solo in the best way possible. So yeah, that would be number 2. And then number 1, Son of Mr. Green Jeans. I've always had a hard time like calling this a solo because it almost feels like Frank's running an obstacle course, because it's like there are so many changes and I'm not sure what was pre-planned, and like every time I listen to this I was like, okay, is he just soloing? Like, is this one long solo? Is it a bunch of little solos that connect different ideas? Right? Who cares? Right? Whatever. And it kind of sounds like an obstacle course, and Frank's guitar soloing is him doing all these things. But then the most recent time I listened to it, it reminds me of those drone races. They're on ESPN all the time, ESPN2. They're on, I think Fox plays them here in San Antonio. But those drone races where they go to like a basketball stadium and they're flying and they're going through the loops and they're going down the corridors and in the colonnade and all that kind of stuff, the concourse and all that stuff. That's what this solo reminds me, is like the beginning of the solo, Frank is taking off and the entire journey is him doing these sort of drone aerodynamic tricks. And yeah, you got to go through this tunnel, which is this rhythm, and then you got to go through this open space, and then you got to do a loop. But it's just like a very acrobatic, very dynamic. There's a lot going on. It's all over the place. But that through line is just Frank's guitar, just pumping out idea after idea after idea, just such an incredibly rapid pace. And it's just exhilarating. It's like a e-ticket. They don't have e-tickets anymore at Disneyland, do they? It's an e-ticket Disneyland ride. It's a roller coaster that lasts far longer than any roller coaster I've ever been on. It is just one of the most exhilarating things ever. The fact that Mr. Green Jeans is sort of the melodic template over which it's done makes it infinitely better. I mean, it's just a perfect piece of music. Son of Mr. Green Jeans. But yeah, that's my number 1 easily on here. I think it is much better than the other 3. The Willie the Pimp is yeah, you beat that marathon, man. You ran those 26 miles. That's impressive. But yeah, that's what they look like in writing. Those are what the 4. Yeah, I thought I had done this already. Interesting. I'm glad I hadn't, because I don't think I would have thrown Peaches in there. But listening to it now, I'm like, I'm throwing Peaches in there. Who cares, right? This is my list. But anyways, yeah, that's what they look like. If I had to rank this album among all the others, it ends up a little higher. That Peaches solo, I gave it a lot of points in my point system. So it's all the way up at number 18. I mean, Son of Mr. Green Jeans is so fantastic. Willie the Pimp, I feel like I've accomplished something when I'm done, and I don't think anything makes me happier than those 29 seconds of Peaches. So it's all the way up at 18. It's, in the top quarter, not quite that high, top third. Yeah, just above, just made the top third, barely, of this list. Yeah, that's what I got. That's what it looks like. That's what all of them look like. The red ones are released when he was alive. The black ones released after he passed away. So he did a good job before he was alive. Jazz from Hell only has 1 solo. It's at number 9, but it's a really good solo. So these rankings are guitar solos only. The songs don't matter. Nothing else matters. Just guitar solos. All right, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this album. Let me know why Peaches doesn't qualify as a solo. I know. All that stuff. Just throw out comments. Let's discuss Hot Rats, people. Yeah, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. This does not mean that the Hot Rat Sessions is the next one coming. It's not. All right, that's all I got. Peace, comment, subscribe, like, share, all that stuff. And go listen to Hot Rats, people. Go listen to Hot Rats.